This is a very interesting passage, John 21:15 through 23. Again, this is tied in with the restoration of Peter. Now he gives him some news. When you were young, you dressed yourself and went wherever you wanted to go. Jesus spoke of Peter's past, reminding him of the younger days and the things he did probably in his younger years. Now he hits him right between the eyes. But I assure you that when you grow old, you'll stretch out your hands and someone else will dress you and take you where you don't want to go. Jesus said this to indicate the kind of death in which Peter would glorify God. Now, not only is he restoring him, he's restoring him to be a true Christian, be like Christ. And so often we don't want to think of aging. We love where we are as a young person, and then, we have to think that we have different chapters in our life book. Jesus spoke about Peter's future. Another would gird him, pick him up, carry him, place him where he didn't want to go. And where he didn't want to go was a cross. And Jesus was telling him, this is how you're going to die. You're going to die glorifying God on a cross like I did. He said, follow me. This is a dramatic moment. Jesus gave the last words to Peter years before Peter was called to follow, and now continuing right to the end. And he said, this is your challenge. Now John was following them. He's the disciple who leaned against Jesus at Passover meal, the one who he loved, and asked which of them would betray him. Peter turned and saw John and said, Lord, what about him? Jesus just renewed the relationship, gave Peter the challenge. Peter, shut your mouth. Instead, first response, he looks at someone else and says, what about them? He said, Jesus looks at him and says, if I want him to remain alive until I return, what does that have to do with you? Jesus replied, you must follow me. His response was a command this time. You have to follow me. Don't go around and try to figure out, okay, Lord, what are you going to do about this guy? So a rumor spread among the disciples that John wouldn't die, but that's not what Jesus had said. The challenge Jesus gave Peter gave rise to a rumor. A rumor is a form of gossip. And they thought John would stay alive right until Jesus returns for a second coming. They misunderstood it. One reason John added this little piece to the gospel, now this is John writing it about himself, he said he wanted to clarify that. Here's this rumor started, and he wanted to stop it. Jesus did not say John would not die, but simply used the possibility that as an example to Peter. It's up to God to determine what's going to happen, especially with the future.